Siku nyingine mzuri hapa mbele, Mungu akipenda, ndugu zetu wa Central mmekuwa uongozini. Mheshimiwa Rais, ukimaliza kipindi chako wewe kubali hii kiti rudi pande hii. Ama namna gani?
Yes, how are you everyone? How was your day? Yesterday, during Wycliffe Oparanya's Thanksgiving, there are very many things which were said. And among the very many things which were said by different people is that the presidency must shift from the two tribes. This was said by SIMBA ARATI, and it said it in front of the Deputy President, William Ruto. The reason these things concern me is the same things were said in the 2022 presidential election when they were fighting Ruto. In fact, many politicians, instead of putting out what they were supposed to do for the people, the programs and everything, they used the tribal card of the president as being in two tribes, so that they can incite emotions of their tribal people, so that people vote on the tribal basis. I know Kenya is tribal, but this sentiment being said in front of DP of President Ruto, it is something bad. And in this episode, I've come to talk about the sayings which were done by SIMBA ARATI, what they mean for our nation, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. So during Oparanya's Thanksgiving, SIMBA ARATI came out and said that if UDA is fighting William Ruto, he should come and join ODM. He went further to see that when Ruto is leaving the presidency, he should fight for another community to get the presidency. And I think there is harm in this, most especially when he was telling it to a presidency who suffered the same when he was in the election of 2022. Okay? And I also send a message to Gachagua. Whenever Gachagua comes out to speak as a tribal master, that day he will want to succeed his boss, the same things will be applied to him. The reason as to why even William Ruto never campaigned on a tribal basis, whenever he could go outside his tribal base, I know he may be tribal, but he used to say that we must unite as a country, because he knew when he holds the two tribes, that is the Kalenjin and Kikuyu, maybe it will be difficult to break the barrier of the presidency. Okay, so these things said by SIMBA ARATI are inciting to the nation, and I think it was William Ruto should not fall for this prey, because even Uhuru Kenyatta came out and said that the president should go in another community. He never said maybe they must vote for competency. He waved this card and Kenyans fought it. Okay. Before I proceed, let me first give you the tape when SIMBA ARATI was saying this statement. Here is the tape.
Mimi nataka niseme watu wa Kisii, wa Nyanza, wa Western kama region moja, lazima tusimame tuhesabiwe. Siku nyingine mzuri hapa mbele, Mungu akipenda, ndugu zetu wa Central mmekuwa uongozini. Mheshimiwa Rais, ukimaliza kipindi chako wewe kubali hii kiti rudi pande hii. Ama namna gani? Ni wangapi wanasema namna hiyo? Nione kwa mkono. Kwa hivyo tunajipanga hapa mbele. Western mpo? Wana ODM mko hapa?
That is SIMBA ARATI. Kenyans forget so quickly. SIMBA ARATI waving this issue of presidency must be in other tribes. It is inciting violence. And at least it should not be said in front of William Ruto, who suffered the same. First of all, for every Kenyan who says that the presidency rotates in two communities, I know how it feels when one of your own is not in the presidency. But look at this. First of all, the KIKUYU community makes the majority. And it was the first tribe to be in power after independence. It was followed by the Kalenjin. By the way, even when Jomo Kenyatta, the founding father, was the president, he has his deputy as Moi for the longest. So it means that these two tribes even hold the state firm. It is the reason even when Uhuru Kenyatta said the similar statements, the state failed to deliver victory to Raila Amolo Odinga, because part of the state saw as if they will be bringing an alien in at the presidency, even when he had not won. Any person who comes out to say that William Ruto cheated an election, he must be insane. William Ruto won an election because he went against the sitting president, the state, and the biggest opposition leader. And Kenya decides otherwise. In fact, he won on a small margin. I also believe that the state cheated an election, but they didn't cheat very much to surpass the difference of 200,000 votes. So SIMBA ARATI coming out to say that the presidency must move to other tribes. I know how it feels, but it is a very difficult thing, and it is also hypocrisy, because he has ever said that to William Ruto. In fact, in the lead-up of the 2022 general election, SIMBA ARATI, in front of William Ruto when he was running for presidency, he came out and said these statements to annex that he fought with Osoro. Here is the tape.
Na mnisikize vizuri. Kitu ya pili, hatuwezi sema kwamba kuna mambo ya dynasty. Kuna kabila mbili ambazo zimeongoza nchi yetu. Moi akaongoza kwa miaka 24. Wakikuyu wameongoza kwa miaka 35. Tena mtuambie kwamba tugeuke tena tupee Mkale kwa miaka 10. Hapana. Biashara kama hiyo hatuwezi.
That is SIMBA ARATI. So you clearly see they still wave the same tribal card which they'll use against Gachagua. And I keep on telling people that if Gachagua wants to inherit his boss, he must desist from looking as if he's a leader of Mountain Kenya, because he is in a position where he should go out to seek for coalitions. Secondly, it will take a long time for the two tribes, that is the Kalenjin and the Kikuyus, not to be in government, either as presidents or deputy presidents, because of being in the system for a very long time, but also because of their numbers. We all know the biggest community is Kikuyus, the second are Luyas, the third are Kalenjins, the fourth are Luos and Kambas. Okay? So, it will take a long time for these people to be removed in government. In fact, it will even take more than 1,000 years, if also, for a president to come outside the 5 biggest communities. I can't see a Kisi becoming a president based on the tribal coalitions, because in Kenya, politics rotates around communities. I can't say a Masai. Maybe in 1,000 years when people can elect a person based on their competence. Okay, so such a thing said by SIMBA ARATI should not have been said in front of William Ruto, because William Ruto suffered the same. He should not allow such statements to be said in his presence. Okay, it cannot be. I also keep on hearing people saying that most government positions are taken by Kalens and Kikuyus. First of all, by ratio, the biggest community has higher chances of occupying the biggest positions. That is the truth. It is the reason as to why in America they had always had one black president. Because you know why? Because whites are the majority. I'm not saying that other communities should not occupy those positions, but can you imagine if there are 10 positions and the biggest community gets less position, they will come out to complain. So, as long as we have the tribal sentiments in the head, the Kikuyus, the Kalenjin will still be the president and deputy president. In fact, a person who tried to crack that thing has been Raila, but also Raila comes from the 4th biggest community. So, it will take a long time for the president to rotate away from the 5 biggest communities, not even 5, 4 biggest communities, the Kikuyus, Kalenjins, Luos, and Kambas. It will take a long time That is the truth. And the way how politics is played, I may not be surprised that the next president will be a Kikuyu in Gachagua. That is the truth. Do you know why? First of all, they have the majority, but they also know how to play politics. Case in example, during Moi's era, when Moi was leaving power in 2002, he created the opposition in Kibaki. And no, he created the opposition in Uhuru Kenyatta, 2002. The president was Moi Kibaki. So the Kikuyus were in the opposition at the same time as leader of opposition, because Uhuru Kenyatta was the leader of opposition. Okay, that is 2002. 2007, Kibaki was in president, Raila was in the opposition. 2013, it was Raila in the opposition. Okay. Fast forward 2022, Raila Amolo Odinga picked a Kikuyu in Martha Karua to be the deputy president. Ruto picked Gachagua, a Kikuyu, to be a deputy president. It meant that either way, a Kikuyu was going to be in the presidency. And by being in the presidency, you have more chances of being president. You know, in history, power goes to those who are near power. One of the reasons as to why Raila has been facing a lot of problem in getting to power is he has always been outside the establishment. That's why he fights hard to be inside so that he can fight for the opposition or fight for space, but he has not even worked. Okay. Another example to show you that these two communities will be hard to be removed in power is one. A clear example is ever since we got independence, the CS for Treasury has always been from these two communities, especially Kikuyus. Now is John Mbadi. But John Mbadi is just a political appointment. The real people, go look at the PS of Treasury, where he comes from. The chairman of budget, Ndidi Nyoro, where he comes from. You know, budget is done and is taken to the Treasury. The chairman of finance, Kimani Kuria, where he comes from. The head of revenue, where he comes from. So that is the state. Such a state where such positions have been held from independence almost 60 years, you cannot just fight it overnight. It takes a lot of time for people to wake up so that they can vote for people based on competence. But SIMBA ARATI coming out to say that in front of William Ruto, it was uncalled for, most especially when Ruto suffered the same thing. Of course, that's my opinion. Do make comments by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I employ you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.